Welcome to Mega Talk, and still the talk show in boxing. So Jaron Boots Ennis, he wins his fight against David Avanesyan, and he wins by stoppage at the end of round 5. He was not fit enough to continue the competition, but I tell you something, it was a good fight between the two of them. It was a good time. David Avanesyan is as tough as old boots. I've watched some of the comments of what people have said, and they're comparing the fight between Crawford and David Avanesyan and now Boots. And some of the comments which I hear people say is, I just do not understand. They're saying that, oh, Ennis, if that was Crawford, he wouldn't last any time at all. He hasn't shown nothing at all. But as I says in my previous video, David Avanesyan is as tough as old Boots. So Boots versus tough as old Boots is always going to be a difficult match. But what a fight it was. What David Avanesyan was doing is, because he knew that he wasn't as fast as Boots, when Jaron was throwing his punches, he was just punching with him because he knew that he couldn't keep up. But as I was saying previously, David is a pressure fighter. So even though Jaron was throwing some brilliant punches, and what a repertoire of punching that this guy has, he's got a great repertoire of punches, David Avanesyan was still marching forward. I've heard people saying, oh, Boots gets hit too much. But what do they want? Because when Shakur Stevens fought last week, they were saying, oh, well, he doesn't engage enough. He doesn't engage enough. But as one of the comments which came up is when you're in the water, you're going to get wet. And that's exactly what Boots done, because Boots was trying to mix it up. But they're saying, well, Shakur's, he's too scared to get wet. What do we want, guys? What is it that we want? This is boxing. People say that Shakur is too boring. And now they're saying that Boots, well, he's getting caught too much, so he's getting hit too much. What do we want, guys? I thought it was a good fight. And if you was to think that the punches what Jaron was throwing to David Avanesyan, I tell you, most people would have finished that fight, would have quit that fight from probably round 2, because he was taking so many body blows, so many. He was catching him very, very, very cleanly. You know, he came out there and he was saying, I'm going to put on a display for the people that come from my hometown. He did throw a low punch, and it was obviously a low punch in round 2. And fair play to Avanesyan, he took his count. He knew that he needed rest after that punch, and anybody would have had to have, because it was a very, very low punch. He took his time, he rested, made sure that he was out of pain before he continued on with the fight. But yes, he is a pressure fighter. And the crowd really, really appreciated it. And once again, this is not putting any disrespect on Eddie Hearn, but, you know, kind of statements what he was making is, well, you know, you've got to put on a show. When you go out there, you got to make sure that, you know, you put on a great performance. No, boxers go out there and box. Let them do their trade, because sometimes when that pressure is on them, they go out there and take unnecessary risk. You know, it's enough risk at the end of the day when you're in your hometown and you know that everybody who you know are watching you. But yet, great fight. He's been out of the ring for over a year, Boots has. So it was a good performance after a year out of the ring. I don't know who he's going to fight next. I don't know if it's going to be Terence Crawford. I don't know if Terence Crawford is going to fight Canelo. There's now talk that Boots might be fighting Canelo, I don't know. I would like to see him in another fight or two before trying to take on the likes of Terence Crawford, just for ring activity, really, and also to just get his name out there. I think Matchroom now and the Zone promoting him, I think they're going to expose him a lot more, and more people will get behind him, and it will make him to be a bigger fighter than what he is. But yes, I thought it was a good fight, and let's see what happens. Let's stop putting these fighters on the pressure, but more so, let's stop making these comments, oh, you get hit too much, and oh, you don't want to get wet. Let them just box and do what they're doing, and we see what comes out the other side. But for now, thank you for listening to Mega Talk, and well done to Boots, and still IBF welterweight champion of the world.